first came to see Dr. Yurkovsky in February of 2016, I was very ill. I had been suffering from Lyme for many years and tried everything, and had facial pain that would alternate from one side of my face to the other, had my knee swelling and ankle swelling. I tried antibiotics, herbal protocols, colloidal silver, a lot of different treatments, but at the point I saw Dr. Yurkovsky, I was so ill, I was fainting and collapsing, and had seen neurologists and an internist and a general practitioner. I had no hope, but it was after seeing Dr. Yurkovsky I began to get better. He did his testing, and the very next day I could start taking remedies, let's see. And I would take a remedy and have a reaction. For example, one thing that began happening was my ears would pop, and the vertigo I was experiencing got much better after taking a remedy and having my...
You also were suffering from severe electromagnetic sensitivity to computers. In general, you had severe brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory problem.
Yes. When I came to see Dr. Yurkovsky, I couldn't sit at a computer, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't read, and if you knew me, I'm a big reader, and within 2 months of seeing him, I was able to read again. I did stay away from computers. He did recommend that while I was taking the remedies, I stay away from computers and have no EMFs, and that was very helpful. I can feel the effect of EMFs. At the time I came to see Dr. Yurkovsky, I couldn't even go into some stores and buildings. I felt like I would collapse. Some stores were worse than others. Now I can walk into a store and stay in a building and with no bad effects. So, yeah, see Dr. Yurkovsky, he found 4 infections through his testing. And he was the only doctor, and I had seen neurologists, internists, general practitioner, emergency room doctors, and the psychologist. He was the only doctor who said the anxiety I was experiencing was because my brain was infected. But he, one of the infections he found was Lyme, and at a point in my treatment, he told me that he found a second type of Lyme, as I understand it, a mutated type of Lyme, and he drew blood, and he made a remedy for me from my blood called the blood iso remedy. I went home the next day, took the remedy, and it took one whole day after taking the remedy. I began experiencing headaches and pains, and I began experiencing some of the things I had over many years experience with Lyme. I also had a rash that weekend. I remember the weekend because it was Memorial Day weekend. But my vertigo got much better. It was like a breakthrough after taking that remedy. Before that remedy, I felt like I was going to fall over if I went like this or even like this. I felt like I was going to fall over, and I couldn't do any gardening. And after taking that remedy, my vertigo got much better. I could bend over and clean the house and do gardening. I'll tell you about the testing Dr. Yurkovsky does. Although I do not understand how it works, I can tell you exactly what happens. He is able to energetically determine what organs are stressed in my body and what infections I might have. And he's also able to tell in what priority I need to be treated. For example, do I need to treat, or does he need to treat Lyme before the parasites, or vice versa? And his testing also determines how many days I need to take between, how many days I need to have between taking different remedies. So for example, I might have to take a drop of a Lyme remedy on one day and then wait 3 more days and take a drop of a kidney remedy and during that time, what?
To release mercury.
To release the mercury and help my body flush out the toxins. After every remedy, practically, I experience washouts where I release the toxins, and they can be of different sorts. I've had rashes, discharges, a lot. I can feel something draining from my head down my neck. I've had a lot going on with my ears, or my ears will pop and I can feel something coming out of my ears. In the morning, sometimes after I've taken a remedy, my eyes have goo and are closed, actually shut because of the goo, but it's all good. I got to the point where I knew that this was all good, and I just felt better. I just kept feeling better and better.
Do you remember what year you started, what time of year it was when you started working your treatments with that?
February 2016, and I've had appointments every month or month and a half, but actually the testing Dr. Yurkovsky does determines when I need to come back, and he gives you a protocol, which I actually look forward to getting and following, and so then there's always a certain number of days after the last remedy and then the next office visit. And his office is available. If something comes up during the treatment, I can call in and he will get back to me, a message will get back.
Did you have to go off and buy expensive products?
No, I didn't. After years of buying supplements and taking antibiotics and trying everything, I went to see Dr. Yurkovsky, and his treatment consists solely of, or mainly of, homeopathic energetic drops that you take home with you so you can start the treatment the very next day. What a protocol looks like usually is take 1 drop in the morning of Lyme, for example, the Lyme remedy, and it's in water, and it's just one. I feel really well compared to how I felt before, and I haven't had any symptoms of Lyme for the past 4 months. It took about 15 months of being treated for Lyme by Dr. Yurkovsky to get to this point. And I do want to say this too, that Dr. Yurkovsky's treatment is designed so that I can handle it, my body can handle it. So it, maybe it's possible to take something and overnight, but it doesn't overwhelm you. It's you can manage it. Although the washouts that I did experience some of them were really tough to get through, but I could manage it, and all at home without being, away at a special place or in a hospital. And I was very ill. I was fainting. I was going to the emergency room. I didn't know what was wrong, and at least 6 other doctors didn't know what was wrong either. Back in February of 2016, and I told every one of those doctors that I had a history with Lyme, but it was through Dr. Yurkovsky's treatment that I began recovering.
Okay,
Right, but that is such a thing that most people, I don't think, who are struggling with this issue are really aware of. You know, I know I wasn't.
So
That
yeah, it is
Lyme
possible
is
that, let's say,
just-
after you no longer have Lyme, for
Mhm.
example, like she did,
Yes,
she no longer after May treatment, she no
I
longer
think we
have
may have to
Lyme.
move because
But
this
you
is a
cannot put
conference
people in the
room.
bubble.
You have to find out your place in, sorry to interrupt you.
Lyme is a single disease, does not exist.
Lyme is a single disease.
It's a single
It does not
disease, yeah.
exist, so of course
As
Lyme
such.
exists. But
Because there are so
it's-
many other infections, there are so other
Yes,
toxicological agents, environmental pollutants.
right, so they're looking,
Electromagnetic
it's like getting a
stir.
piece of the puzzle and saying, okay, I've got an understanding of what this puzzle is, because I can see the Empire State Building here.
Mhm.
But there's all these other
It's
pieces.
a mosaic.
Yes.
Yeah, and part is only part of it.
Right,
So if you just bombarding Lyme, you'll never solve that mosaic.
right, yeah, if you want to look at that
Yeah.
one piece, yeah.
Mhm.
That's true. I do feel like all those years where I
Recording?
had treatments for just Lyme,
Right,
that it somehow made Lyme go deeper into me and affect me more deeply.
Mhm.
Because
It
when you're
became
talking about-
buried
Mhm.
in me.
When you talk about the
So
treatments-
how this treatment was different with me? No, not just for Lyme. What other factors that we treated do you think made the difference?
I think what makes a difference with Dr. Yurkovsky's treatment is that whatever it is that you are infected with comes to the surface and is released. Your body wants to get rid of it, and your body, and when
Do
your body
do you
is
think
strong
there's
enough
specific
to.
infections that helped? Remember we treated candidiasis, parasitosis, some viruses, I believe even Epstein-Barr virus. We also treated mercury,
Yes.
toxic metals.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's all.
So
Yeah,
can you give me a list of some of the things that he treated you
You were
for
treated.
besides the Lyme?
Dr. Yurkovsky found 4 infections when I first came to him. Lyme was one, parasites were another, viruses were another, and metals were another.
Candidiasis.
And candidiasis was also an issue at different times during my treatment. And for example, when I took the candidiasis remedy, I broke out in a rash, but I felt lighter. I felt like I was releasing the candidiasis. I felt like I was finally getting rid of something rather than suppressing it, rather than,
Yeah.
Okay, so what did it cost for all these treatments that you're getting?
For Lyme, it was about a dozen treatments for Lyme over the
really
course of
good.
15 months. And it was well under $10,000, closer to $5,000.
And those are multiple things he was treating, not just Lyme.
Yes, and in addition to Lyme, I was being treated for metals, candidiasis,
Mercury.
viruses, mercury, and parasites too. Very good. A year and a half ago, I couldn't even imagine even coming here to this conference and sitting here and doing the driving. So
What
I'm
did it take
feeling
to
well.
get here for
Yes.
you? Like you took all the treatments, but what did it take just today to get here? You had to get up and drive how far?
2.5 hours.
Oh,
Yes.
Going back.
And then I'm going back.
Great, so you can.